Hello, Defender family. Here we are once again in this. Can you believe this shit again? And I mean, I'm telling you, every week it just seems like it's something with this president and black people, and and so we're just like, what the heck? And to join us in this discussion is our normal panel with our great leader, Rashonda Tate, uh, you know our spiritual guide and a Swad Walker, and our just fantabulous Laura Edgenoho, and then you have me, just the guy just hanging up, the sports guy that they allow to hang out with them. So, but we want to talk
Mhm.
about this latest thing that just came up with Donald Trump and his forever, that stupid pen that he has, man. Can we just steal the pen?
I
That's what I
know,
like to do.
right?
Just take every pen that he has in the White House and throw it away. And that way we won't have any more of this craziness. But in this latest deal, and honestly, it's not that late. I mean, it really isn't late. This happened last month. It just kind of, went under the radar a little bit, where basically government entities and the people that they do contracts with no longer have to abide by segregation guidelines. So that means that basically, we can do business with companies that practice segregation. You might not be able to eat at restaurants, use the same restrooms. You might drink out of the same water fountains, and so on and so forth. And it's just crazy to think in 2025, this is something that we have to deal with. And I wanted to throw it out to you guys to just see. What are you guys thinking?
For me, I think part of the problem is there are so many people that think this isn't serious. So let me back up for those that may not know what this is all about. In a move that is just really alarmed everybody, the Trump administration rescinded a clause with federal contracts that explicitly bans segregated facilities. That's like separate waiting rooms, restrooms, dining areas, things that are based on race. Now, this clause has been in effect since the 1960s. It was removed after a memo with the U.S. General Services Administration, and basically now it's saying these contractors can segregate. People are dismissing that because they're like, oh, nobody's going to do that. And that's the problem with Donald Trump, is that people don't take him serious until it's done. From crazy things like renaming the Gulf of Mexico, people were like, oh, he's not going to do that. And he did. Getting rid of abortion, he's not going to do that. And he did. We need to stop dismissing things that seem crazy and outlandish because the man has shown us who he is.
And we need to believe him. Laura, what are your thoughts on this latest this latest decision?
Well, to Rashonda's point, all I wanted to do was kiki and laugh. I'm sorry. I was just like, that's all you can do behind frustration is just to laugh because this man is a jester. This is just a symbolic blow to the folks who work so hard to put these protections for us. And now we're in a situation where, the game has changed. I personally would love to see those people come outside and put those put those posters up and say we segregated, because I would love to remove, like I said, remove my funds and remove my money immediately from those places, because people have the gall and audacity. And if Trump has that, and he has his minions everywhere to do so, let them put themselves out in the forefront so we know who we're dealing with, because clearly we know what Trump is doing. We know him from the get-go, but I want to see the actual responses in which one of these federal contracted folks will really pull through when it comes to this,
Yeah,
because it's mad.
exactly. And let's be clear. I mean, segregation is still illegal
Yeah,
in this country. So let's be clear
but
about that.
my worry is once something becomes federal, I feel
Yeah,
like these contractors feel like they have to be obligated to follow it, or they will get in trouble because it's the law or whatever it is. So that is my main concern with
yeah,
whatever is going to happen here.
exactly. I mean, but and it's like, in some ways we've become numb to it. We expect it. We don't expect anything good to come out of this current administration when it comes to us or people who look like us or other minorities as well. But I mean, what's the danger, Swad, and not people not taking this sort of thing, even though it's largely symbolic, but not taking it seriously and not understanding the need to push back?
Well, the danger is we saw something similar happen after we initially got those gains after emancipation. You saw Black people being elected to public office. When the pushback came, where they were trying to whitewash everything and remove all the Blackness, we had the right to vote all the way back to, I think, either late 1860s or 1871. And when that pushback happened, we didn't get the right to vote back for nearly 100 years. And so that's the danger. The danger is what's happening today can impact generations from now, not just right now. And so, you know, to Rashanda's point, folk really do need to take this seriously, because I don't know if this is the same, it's connected to the same one we're talking about now, but I heard a few weeks ago where he had removed a clause that said, you know, if to do business with the government, you cannot discriminate. And he removed that. The reason why that's so huge is because even though it was talking about the government, people who are in the private sector, the biggest contracts they get are with the government. And so that changed the whole landscape of businesses all across the country. They said, well, if we're going to do business with the government, we can no longer act a fool. We got to at least treat people equally. And so this is huge what's going on right now. It's way beyond just symbolic.
And Rashonda, what do you think people should do in response to this? I mean, what should Black folks do to deal with this?
Be very afraid. I mean, it's everything from civil rights attack. It's almost like that's so 1964. This administration is going to stop enforcing the Civil Rights Act in cases of disparate impact on minorities. From environmental racism, wiping those gains out. From RFK Jr. saying, hey, forget Black people and vaccines and immunities because they got thick skin. That's his belief, that we don't need vaccines, that we don't need certain medicines because we're equipped to handle things much better than everybody else. If that is the thought process of the administration, we are in trouble. So we need to be afraid, but we also need to be vocal. We need some leadership that will stand up and speak out, because what he's doing is he's dangling all of this chaos over here, and then he's quietly dismantling everything else over here. While we're over here talking about the shiny object in the room, he's over here making all these changes that benefit his friends and hurt the Black communities. So we have to stay vigilant, and we have to stay on our representatives to stay vocal.
And we're replacing DEI with WEI. DEI, I heard one person say, using DEI math, where Black folk have to be twice as good to get half as much. That means once we get in the room with you, we're already 4 times better than you are. And so we're replacing all these overqualified Black folk with WEI candidates, white, entitled, and inept, or white, entitled, and incompetent. And it's making mediocrity the standard, white mediocrity the standard, where folk who have all the credentials, over credentials in the world are minimized, and we cannot go along with that.
Do you guys ever just kind of wonder how the heck did we get here? Because
we had the audacity to run a Black woman. That's how we got here. Because
we had the audacity not to go vote.
Yeah, I mean, people didn't go vote because we're one issue people, because the GOP side plays checkers, the Democrats play the Democrats play checkers, the Republicans play chess, where you have people looking at one issues. Abortion, there are people that are saying Democrats are for abortions, when I don't know a single Democrat that wants to kill babies that are born after they're born. That's what people are saying. So then they say, well, I'm going for Trump because I got a stimulus check for $1,200, Trump looking out for me, so I'm going to vote for Trump. Or worse, I'm going to stay home and not vote at all. And this is what we get.
And the crazy part is, like, I don't want to hear anything from those like anti-Black Trump Republicans. or anti-Trump Republicans, because obviously when it comes to moral or political objection, like they're not doing a thing. So I just see them, that block, as cowards. Because what are you doing? How do you sit here and say, okay, that's a good idea? Yeah. Yeah. Really?
Right.
Like that whole entire block needs to just be dealt with, because I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, guys, we could continue this conversation, for a long time and go down that road of what's next. I mean, what's coming. But I'm sure we'll have some more of these conversations where we'll deal with what's coming, because there's more to come, guys, unfortunately. But until then, we're going to wrap it up and say thank you for tuning in. Continue to tune in. Continue to support our journalism. And we'll see you next week. Take care.